Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the Wise Owl Ones podcast. Coming up to you fast and furious is Christmas.
Yep.
And we are going to talk about everything Christmas to an extent.
Yes.
But then we never stick to any one subject, as
Not
you well
at all.
know. We want to introduce you to our new mascot, which those of you who are watching it,
Oh, you've just
you
killed
dear
her.
thing, I haven't killed her. Who are watching it on YouTube, there she is. She's beautiful. Now, we're trying to find a name for her. So, Mary, you had suggested what?
I suggested Hegwig, which is from the Harry Potter movies.
Right.
But she is a female, so we would like you to send in some names.
Yes.
Some good names now, not stupid names. Some really good names that you think that the Wise Owl Ones would appreciate our little mascot being called.
Okay. So I'm going to put you back on the table while we carry on with the show. So, as I say, are you ready for Christmas, Mary?
I am and I amn't. My daughter does most of my Christmas stuff. I'm right in the middle, as you know, of rehearsals for PANTO, which start on the 19th in Liberty Hall.
Yes.
So I don't have time to do a lot of stuff.
No.
I did yesterday. I washed all my windows, and I still like the neck curtains.
Okay.
So I took down my fresh neck curtains and put them up, and then our little candles went in the window. But the tree isn't up yet, but that'll go up this week.
Okay.
So I am. My daughter's got most of the presents in.
Yeah.
And food-wise, we'll start doing that now at the weekend. So
lovely.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Uh-huh.
You?
So, well, no, we're not ready because I'm the same. I am working right up now until the 22nd. I have a few days off. I have tomorrow off. No, I haven't. I'm off to Belfast tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll be back on Sunday, and then I'm off. Then the following weekend, we're doing Dublin. So hopefully there'll be a couple of days next week that I can actually really get stuck in. I did go out today and we did buy some wine, which is a very important commodity to have over Christmas. So that's been purchased. You know,
Most important thing.
I think most of the work this year is going to be down to Marion because she is now retired. And
Lady of Leisure.
So I think it'll be, but like you, the food will be done next weekend. You know, because I eat with my eyes. I don't know about you, Mary, but I go into shops and I go, oh my God, I have to have this, I have to have that, I have to have the cheese, I have to, you know, and you throw out so much food over the Christmas.
Yes.
Now, fortunately, we're going to my brother's for Christmas dinner.
Right.
And I don't think you know that, Michael, yet, but we are coming to you for Christmas dinner, which means I don't have to...
She invited me as well, Mike, but I said, no, it's just too much on the man.
So we just really have to worry about the Stevenson's Day and between, you know, and the New Year. So what TV... I mean, I wanted... In my head, what I'm going to do on Christmas Eve is I'm going to get in under a duvet and just gogglebox.
Yes.
And just rest because it has been so manic. Yes. And I've just been so manic. So I want to watch all the old black and white movies. I love that kind of thing.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is we have a tradition, me and my daughter, since she was a young girl and I moved up to the first house I was ever in, I'm young with her. I used to put the Christmas tree. And as soon as that tree went up, it always went up in the evening.
Okay.
And then we'd sit and watch White Christmas. So that is a must. That's a must. The other one I like to watch is It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
With James Stewart.
I never get tired of it.
No, never. Because the meaning to it is so about Christmas. It's so about the spirit of giving and goodness.
Absolutely.
And because you know, we think so much, and especially in this day and age, we think so much of the material things we don't have.
Yes, exactly.
Where this film actually shows you that
it's not about material things.
Mean nothing if you don't have friends.
Yeah.
And the friends is what makes you rich.
Absolutely.
And that's why I love it. Then I love James Stewart. I love The Grinch. I have to say, I love The Grinch. It's the funniest film I've ever seen. And I love, what's the guy's name that dresses up as the elf?
The elf.
I love that. And Home Alone. And they're the new ones. Okay. But if I had my way, I would watch all the old black and white Christmas movies.
No, I love the Miracle on 34th Street.
And I actually love the old version of it.
Yes. So do
I love the new version, but the old version is lovely, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what my Christmas Eve will be.
Well, I heard a story about It's a Wonderful Life and when it was first made. And it never got showed because it was deemed a complete and utter flop. So it went into storage. and for years.
Yeah.
And then somehow it got taken out, shown one Christmas, and look at it now. It's
Yeah.
played every single.
Well,
So they obviously got that one very,
they got it
very
very
wrong.
wrong. And there's
right?
another movie that James Stewart was in. It was about, what was it called? He could see this big giant rabbit. Nobody else could see it. I can think of that. I had the name there 2 seconds
Okay.
ago, and it's
Okay.
gone from my head. But it's an all black and white movie, and everybody thinks he's crazy.
Okay.
And it turns out that he's just a really kind and good guy who has decided to leave the hustle and bustle of life behind
Okay.
and retire and become, the town clown or whatever, or
Right. I
just
got you.
enjoy people's company.
Yeah.
Oh, what, Harvey. That's
No,
the name
never
of it.
heard of it.
Oh
No.
my God, if you can get the chance to watch
Yeah.
Harvey,
Okay.
it is a black and white movie, but it
Okay.
is so good and it's so touching,
Okay.
because
Okay.
through the film, it shows that James Stewart is obviously the main character,
Yeah.
but he meets these other people who are just so hyped up. And then when they
Okay.
find out what he's doing,
Okay.
and they find that in their
Okay.
lives,
Yes. Yeah.
how much their lives change.
Okay.
It's an incredible
Oh, lovely.
story to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
good. So it's like It's a Wonderful Life. It gives you that same feeling that we don't need all the big material stuff we
No.
have in the big
No. No.
hopple and puzzle. We just have to take time for ourselves,
Yeah.
be kind to each other, and live life to the best, and look after
Absolutely.
people the way we want them to look after us. And
Okay.
that's what I love about Christmas movies
Yeah.
and the fairy tales that
I
some people
know.
would call them fairy tales. I would actually say there are people out there who
Oh,
live
I
like
love
that.
them. I mean,
You know.
as cheesy as they are, I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Oh,
I
stop.
mean, I love watching Cinderella on, Walt Disney's Cinderella, and I love The Lion King, and I
Yeah.
love, I just get carried away
I
watching.
do The Little
I
Mermaid,
just,
the whole
yes.
lot. Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, I'll have to watch. I have to watch E.T. It'll be
Oh
on
no, I
again this
can't watch
Christmas.
that movie anymore.
Oh no, I have to watch it again. I
I
have to watch
watched
it
I
again.
watched the whole movie
I
until
know.
it gets to the end, and then you think he's
He go
gone.
home. I just love.
But you think he's dying then. It's very sad.
I
I'd
know
be
it is.
roaring
But
and
he
crying.
doesn't die, Mary. It's
I
a
know he
happy ending.
doesn't, but it's a happy end. Then he has to go back to his mummy and daddy,
I know.
and the little boy is crying. It's
I
very
know.
sad.
So
But I love it like that.
let's talk about food. Are you a traditionalist when it comes to food?
I
Christmas?
would be very traditionalist. I mean,
Okay.
there's only me and Deborah, and my brother now, he lives around the corner.
Mhm.
And I used to buy 2 turkeys every year.
Yeah.
He'd give me the money for his turkey. But it got to the stage when my dad passed and Willie was left on his own in the house,
Yeah.
and there's only me and Deborah. We buy one big turkey,
Okay.
and I cooked the turkey on Christmas
Yes.
Eve, and then on Christmas Day, I sliced the full breast off
Fabulous.
and a leg
Yeah.
and a bit of stuffing, and I wrap it up, and we bring it around to my brother, and we spend a few hours around with him.
Lovely.
But then we come back. Now, I would have Brussels sprouts. A lot of people say they don't like them. I love Brussels
Do
sprouts.
you like Brussels
I
sprouts?
bloody well love them.
So how
I
do you
don't
cook
like
them?
when I'm, blowing after them, but I
Okay,
do
I
love
know.
them when I'm eating them.
How do you cook them?
I would do with a bit of ham and stuff in there.
Do you?
I would boil them.
Yeah.
Then I would put them into a pan with the thing, with a
Oh,
little
nice.
bit of olive oil
Yes.
and some seasoning, and just let them heat, and then they're gorgeous, gorgeous. That's what I would do.
Now, see, Marion does. She loves Brussels sprouts, but I'm not a
Yeah.
Brussels
Oh, I
sprout
love
person.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then I love see, we wouldn't have a starter
Okay.
in my house. We would sit down and have our main meal,
Yeah.
and then we would have a lovely big dessert, and then after that, you're looking at the boxes of sweets and the crisps.
Yes.
And if my daughter wasn't living with me,
Yes.
I would be double the size I am today. And I'm big enough as it is, but I'd sit and
Yeah.
eat the whole box while I'm watching all the old films and crying and
Yeah.
sniffing and having a glass of wine.
Yeah.
But that's what I love to do. So the old traditional foods that my mother used to cook, and I always make sure I have cabbage.
Okay.
Because my mum always had cabbage. Now, a lot of people don't have cabbage. They
Yeah.
have the red,
Yeah.
spicy
Yeah.
cabbage.
Lovely. Yeah.
But I like the ordinary cabbage. And I love to do the cabbage in the meat water.
Yes, my mother used to do
Yeah, I
exactly
love
the
that.
same
Now,
in
it's
the
full of
bacon
bloody
water.
salt and everything else.
Yeah,
But
no,
you look
no.
at,
My mother used to always put the cabbage in the bacon water.
and it's once a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I do. My
Yeah.
daughter is very, very, she's very, she, she's disciplined,
Okay.
where I am not disciplined at all. And I will stuff my face. She will have what she has,
Mhm.
what she knows she can eat,
Yeah.
and then she'll stop. And then
Okay.
she goes to bed early on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, whatever it is, and I will continue on eating and watching the movies. And I love it because the rest of the year I'm
Yeah.
constantly watching me weight all the
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
So
what would you have for dessert? It would be Christmas pudding or mince pies or.
I would have mince pies, or I would have, and it would be custard or cream.
Yeah.
But what I do love is Christmas cake.
Do you?
I love Christmas cake. Now, I don't buy big Christmas cakes. As I said, it's only me and
That's
Deborah. I
right.
would buy the little slices
Yes,
from
yeah, yeah,
Tesco's.
yeah.
Other
Brilliant.
brands are
Yeah,
available as well,
yeah.
but I would buy them, and I would have one of them with a cup of tea and Kimberley biscuits.
Oh,
I
I love
just have
Kimber.
to
So do I
have
have to
Kimberley
have. You
biscuits.
can't have Christmas without Kimberly
It
biscuits.
doesn't
Can you?
feel, because every year
Did you have
it's
the
the
chocolate covered Kimberly or just
I
the
would have
ordinary?
both.
Oh,
I would have both. I would have one plain and one chocolate
right.
and a slice of cake on a plate
Yeah.
and a mug of tea and sit down and watch the news in the
Okay.
evening.
Now, what about the turkey sandwich?
Oh, definitely have
Because
the turkey
everybody has to
sandwich.
have a turkey sandwich
That
night out.
would happen if I was having a few drinks.
Yes.
I would have that around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the
Okay.
evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of, now I love chef sauce. So a lot of chef sauce on that. And that's, so you can imagine how
Yeah.
many calories I've ate that day.
Yeah.
But I don't think about calories on that
No.
day. And I
No.
don't
No.
care.
Exactly.
From
Exactly.
Christmas Eve
Mm-hmm.
to, I suppose, Stephen's Day, I don't think about calories. Then after Stephen's Day, you're kind of
Well,
going
then,
down,
yeah.
you're getting
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
where you are.
You get back to.
And I
Yeah.
don't like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I don't go out.
No.
I'd rather be working. I'm not working this year,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but I just don't go out. I would rather be in the house, have a glass of wine, watch the TV,
Absolutely.
and then go
Have
to
an
bed
early night.
at
Yeah.
midnight or
Yeah.
whatever and just sleep
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Christmas is a special time for me. I love going to midnight mass. Now, unfortunately,
Do
midnight
you?
mass is at
Right.
7 o'clock in the evening now.
Ah.
The only reason I love going, well, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I have a very spiritual connection.
Yeah.
I'm not religious, but I'm very
Right. Yeah.
spiritual. But I love the atmosphere on Christmas Eve
Yeah.
in the church. Now, I can't go this year because I'm working,
Right.
but I'm only working till 9:30, but I'm still working. I
I
can't go to
know.
the
Yeah.
mass.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my daughter is going to miss it terribly because we go in there, myself, my daughter, and my friend, Helen,
Yeah.
and we'd go in there, and now Helen would have her and Stitch in the lap, and I'd be going, for God's sake,
Yeah.
listen. But I love the idea of them bringing down the little baby Jesus down to the crib.
Gorgeous.
And
Gorgeous.
it's
Yeah.
just a lovely, and I'd just be packed with young people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I have found now in the last, I would say, 8 or 9 years going to mass on
Really?
Christmas Eve, that it is packed
With younger
with a lot
people.
of more young men in particular.
Interesting, isn't it?
Now that's in my church
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Ballyferma,
Yeah.
and I walk in there and it does me heart good
I
to
bet.
see
Yeah.
these young men coming in,
Yeah.
even if it is only just to
I know. But I
please
mean,
somebody
yeah.
or whatever, but they're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They're there and they're celebrating the whole thing with us all, the birthday or whatever it is that we're supposed to be
Absolutely.
celebrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I love doing. So that's my Christmas. If I wasn't working, if I wasn't doing this and I was working still in Tesco's,
Okay.
I would be doing my shopping from the, during the week, right off as I'm
Got you
leaving
right
work.
up to it.
And then I wouldn't be working Christmas Eve
No, you wouldn't.
because I was on a different contract to most people.
Okay.
So I'd be home all day Christmas Eve, doing the turkey, doing the ham, getting everything
Gotcha.
ready,
Yeah.
the smell in the house of Christmas, the radio
Just
playing the Christmas
Stop.
songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would be doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately, with my work now, because it's nighttime business, singing, Christmas Eve, I'm out from 6 to 9:30. But I'll come back and I'll still have that atmosphere. I will, because the turkey will have been on for an hour or two.
Absolutely.
So the
Yeah.
smell will still be in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
It's just different, but still
But
traditional.
still traditional. Yeah.
Yourself,
Yeah.
what would you, do
Well,
you
you
eat
see,
like a lot?
I'm not a turkey person, unfortunately. I've never really been that keen on
Yeah.
turkey. Having said that, I love the tradition of it. I love the, the fact that, there are the Brussels sprouts and there are the turkey and the
Yeah.
ham and so on and so forth. And going to my brother's, that's exactly what we will have.
Yeah.
We will have turkey and ham because he has his family there. So we will have a traditional, and he's a chef as well. So come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But my ideal Christmas dinner is roast beef, the best cut of roast beef you can get, right? Yorkshire pudding, all the cauliflower cheese, all the trimmings. I mean, roast potatoes like that you can dance off, right? Because I just love like really juicy, fatty roast potatoes. Like you, it's and I don't mind a starter, but I like to have the starter say a good hour before
Yes.
the dinner.
Unlike
So
when you
it
go
might
to a
be a prawn
restaurant.
cocktail or avocado pear with something fancy with and then a dessert. Now I normally do a trifle, but my trifle isn't a heavy trifle. It's more jelly and fruit than it is for
Yes.
fruits
Yeah.
of the forest, and I love that, and ice cream and cream. I really indulge with the cream
Oh, definitely.
over
Yeah.
Christmas,
yeah.
right? And then the next day, it's like I just graze, on Stevens's Day, I graze.
I think
all
everybody
month.
does, though.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
does. Whatever's in the fridge, and there's lots in the fridge, you just go, oh, I'll eat that now, and
Yeah.
I'll have that. I don't bother cooking anything on
Yeah.
the next day. Maybe have a bit of salad, perhaps, or throw a few chips on because you're dying
Well,
for
you see,
chips.
This is another thing
You're
we
dying
would
for
have.
chips and
Stephen's Day would be
yeah,
chips and eggs.
yeah, chips and
You know,
eggs. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Dip
I
your,
know. Just saying, I just want to tell the listeners that we did talk about Christmas on the last podcast.
we did. Did
And
we?
we did say some of the things we're saying now, but it's just because we want to do a full Christmas
Absolutely. Christmas
podcast
Day.
for
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
so that we can,
So you have a
you
better
know.
memory than I have. Did we
No,
talk
it's just
about
when you
it?
were talking about the food and stuff. Oh, was it 2 podcasts ago? Sorry,
Yes,
Danny
yeah.
says it was 2 podcasts ago. But just to let people know that, we're not losing our minds yet.
No,
We're like, I was
we're
just, I was
yes.
aware of it, and I said I better let them
Oh,
know. We know we spoke about it
absolutely.
before.
Yeah, yeah, no. Well,
But
anyway,
anyway,
I know we talked about Panto before
yeah,
on the last one with Pat O'Sullivan. Wasn't she interesting to talk
very
to?
interesting. God bless her. Now, I have to say, I was fascinated by her life.
Yeah,
As I said to her before she left, and I think I said it to her on the podcast, for someone who says she wasn't professional,
yes.
she was probably more professional than I
Yeah,
ever was.
yeah,
For the amount of work she's put in behind the scene in
absolutely.
theatres and the whole lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she was a little dream to be with.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. So anyway, we touched on it because she was always doing pantos
yeah,
every year.
yeah,
And, the buzz that she gets,
yeah.
from the kids in particular.
Oh yeah,
Right. And I remember I used to do pantos when I was doing amateur dramatics, and I've done panto once professionally in Bradford.
right.
And it is a it is hard work
It's
though.
bloody hard work.
Right.
People
So,
don't realise
they
it.
really don't realise.
Yeah.
And I mean, that buzz you must get, the first day you go out now, which will be the 19th, is it?
Yes,
No, do you have an early show as well?
we've 2 shows every day.
Right.
So it is going
Yeah.
to be hard. We've 10 shows for 5 days before Christmas.
Okay.
And then after Christmas, we have another 8 shows going. We have there's 18 shows altogether.
Okay.
This is the shortest panto I've ever done.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when I worked with Alan Hughes and Carol Broderick, I did up to 70 shows. In right from November.
Yeah.
Or the beginning of December, right through until January.
I know.
So
this
this is a bit of a doddle for me to a certain extent, but as regards the length of time we're doing it.
Yeah.
But I still love it.
Oh yeah.
You're exhausted, you're walking away from it, and then at the end of it all, you're sitting down, you're going, "Oh my God, that was brilliant!" And when you see the kids and the parents, and it's just, and then because we can break the fourth wall, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is magic, isn't it?
I found we have some things here about panto that I find fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, I always thought panto started originally in England.
No, pantos actually started, it's not Irish and it's not British. It actually started in Italy in the 1600s. And it started off, they were like street performers, and they'd wear masks and so on and so forth. And so, and it actually all formed the basis of the magical visual and later vocal performances we appreciate today.
Yeah.
And I believe pantos were silent as well.
Yeah, they used to do, was it mimes kind of things?
Yes, they used to mime it. They were, and it's not, and of course, pantos attract top artists.
Oh yeah,
Would
I
you
seen
believe?
that on this.
Which is,
and Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry, one of my favourites.
And Richard Wilson, OBE, and even David Hasselhoff.
And Joe Brand.
Yes, and Mary Byrne.
Mary Byrne
and EilishO'Carroll. I mean, that is amazing. We are talking top artists being attracted here. But it was to show you, what I loved about it was the feeling of being a child yourself.
Yeah. But that's what you are when you're on the stage. You are a child yourself.
You are really play acting, right? Yeah. And they aren't, and they're globally successful pantomimes because apparently, they're in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa, and they all enjoy pantomimes. So it's fascinating. Now,
it is fascinating.
I know we're reading all this stuff out, guys, but I have to say a special thank you. Actually, the panto credit to Fairfield Halls for compiling all this information. So we really do appreciate what you've done. So did you know that panto actors could only be male, right?
Yeah, I found that fascinating to see. Yeah.
And while the dame character is the cornerstone of pantomimes and even British theatre culture, men originally took on the role out of necessity. Men would dress as women simply because women weren't allowed on stage at the time. Typical, yeah. It wasn't until 1660 when women were allowed to perform on stage, but the practice of men dressing as women continued and even included women dressing as men. Very true. And a rather risque move for the time when women weren't even supposed to show their ankles. Now, it's amazing because what's still happening today, and I mean, I remember, apart from the very obvious entertainers who were, I don't know, Danny LaRue, would you say he was a cross-dresser? I don't think he was a cross-dresser.
I don't think he was a cross-dresser, but by God, when he was a younger man dressing as a woman, he looked fantastic.
He was
I mean, do
fantastic.
you remember the old, what was the name of that show that used to be on the good old days?
Yes.
And it was all done on stage like
Yes.
the old days, and they
Yes.
all dressed up in the old
Oh,
clothes.
yeah.
I
The old
loved
town
that.
hall music,
Yes,
wasn't it? Yes.
yeah. And I mean, that entertainment is gone from the
Yeah,
TV.
I know.
It's
I know.
gone from the TV. I
Yeah.
mean, as we were talking to Pat there the other
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
we
same.
were talking about,
Yeah.
the talk of the tops of the town.
Absolutely.
And I remember watching that on a Sunday or a Saturday evening. I can't remember what day it used to be on,
Mm-hmm.
but they'd put on this big show, all amateur dancers and
Yes.
singers, and it was fantastic. And
Fantastic.
competitions they'd have.
Yeah.
That's all gone. That light entertainment that helped everybody have a little bit of lightness in their lives
That
at the
community
weekend.
entertainment
Yeah, gone,
has died,
gone. And Panto, as I
unfortunately.
said, the first time we were talking about as well, the first time children are introduced to the theatre is through Panto.
Yes, yeah.
My
yeah.
first time at Panto, Deborah was about 4,
Uh-huh.
5.
Uh-huh.
Tell you a lie. No, she wouldn't. She'd been older.
Yeah.
She would have been about 7 or 8. And I remember deciding to bring her into the Olympia.
All right.
And I got up on the top
The very
part
top.
of it. I mean, I don't even know if she appreciated as much as I did.
Yeah.
I mean, while the kids in the audience that were used to going to Panto
Yes.
were roaring back at the Panto
Absolutely.
villains,
Yes.
I started to do it
Well,
as
of
well.
course you do.
And
Yes.
she was sitting there looking at me as and then she joined in.
Yeah.
But I got more pleasure
Yeah,
out
of
of
course
it.
you do.
So for
Yeah.
me, that was my first introduction to
Yeah.
real theatre and pantos. And her first introduction, she never took to it,
Yeah.
where I did.
Yes.
From that
Yeah.
day, and maybe earlier when I went to the first time I ever went to a theatre,
Yes.
was again in the Olympia to see
Yeah.
Twink in Oliver.
You joke.
And that still stood out in my mind. So yes,
Yeah.
the panto is the first time children see
Are
a live
introduced,
show
I think,
on
and
a stage.
it's their introduction, and it's a wonderful introduction because
Oh,
it's a
listen.
very kind of, you know, it's happy and sad, and pantomime, i.e., it's funny,
It's interactive.
it can be funny, it can be tragic, and it's interactive. It involves the
Well,
audience,
you
and I
see, I
think
used
that's
to
really
bring Deborah to the pictures all the time.
Yeah.
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 Around the Christmas time, until that particular time that happened, that I went to
yeah,
Panto, and I think it's better. I love the pictures. I love
Right.
pictures, the movies, the films.
yeah.
We say pictures because we're from a different era.
Era. Mhm.
But I think parents out there, if they just took a chance. Not there's a lot of people who don't go to the
Okay.
theatre,
Yeah.
but if they took a chance and went to see a panto
Panto.
instead of going to the movies
Yes.
with their kids at Christmas,
Yes.
they would
Really
go back
enjoy.
again and
Yeah.
again and
Yeah.
again, because
Yeah.
it's the screaming of the kids. It's the
Absolutely.
way they're involved with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
They're up for the goodies. They hate the baddies.
Yeah.
And they want the princess to marry
Yeah.
the prince.
Yeah.
And the parents would see how excited they are.
Yeah.
Where when they're watching a movie, which I love going to the pictures,
Yes.
it's lovely, but you sit there and you just
It's not
munch
the
on your
same.
thing.
Yeah.
This one,
Mhm.
you're interacting with it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
live.
They're
It's
living it.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think, lot of parents who haven't gone, I would say to them, listen, go and check out one of them, because they
Yep.
are brilliant. And
Yep.
if you are going this year, go to the Liberty Hall to
Because that's what Mary Byrne is playing.
yeah, it's called the Liberty Panto, and Mary Byrne is there playing the beautiful godmother. Well,
Oh, well. So
But
anyway,
just
Widow,
a little plug there. I'm allowed to have a plug.
you're allowed
Yeah.
lots of plugs, darling. Widow Twankey was named after a tea. Would you believe that?
Now, Widow Twankey, what was that?
Widow Twankey, again, a female character in Aladdin, is named after a cheap Chinese tea called Twankey tea.
Oh
The
my
tea
God.
uses an old, ragged, open-leaf tea to make the inferior quality green tea, possibly implying that Widow Twankey is also past her best.
Oh my God,
Now-
that's right, because she's the...
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for God's
And then we have Old
sake.
Mother Riley. Now, I didn't realise Old Mother Riley kind of started in pantomime. But reading this, Old Mother Riley isn't just an archetypal character in pantomime shows. She was a real person, also known as Arthur Luthen.
Yeah, I remember
Old
that.
Mother Riley was a character created that expanded far beyond the pantomime stage. Luthen was, whilst a relatively reticent person, spawned an entire franchise of work under the Old Mother Riley name. often performing with his wife, the notoriously difficult Kitty McShane, who played Old Mother Riley's daughter, also called Kitty. They were at one point one of the highest earning performers in the UK, earning the equivalent of approximately 50,000 a year in today's money.
I'm not
I'll add
surprised.
some of that myself. Thank you
I'm
very
not
much.
surprised because I remember in Ballyfermot we had the Gala, which was a picture house.
Okay.
And every time you went to the pictures, whether King Kong was on, whether Seven Brides for Seven Brothers was on,
Loved
that movie. Yeah.
Loved it.
That's one of the movies I forgot to mention. We were
Yes,
talking about it.
yeah.
But I remember going up there, and the first film you'd see would be an Old Mother Riley.
Yes,
Or,
that's right.
you know, the
It
Three
was always-
Stooges,
yes,
something like that.
Yeah.
So Old Mother Riley has been going since I was long before me
Same
even.
me. No, same
Yeah.
me as a kid. Yeah.
The first time I went to the movies on my own, which I say, we didn't live far from the Gala.
Yeah.
So I'd go up with my friends and we'd go, it was you got tuppence.
Yeah.
And you paid in and you had something left over to get a packet of crisps and a bottle of drink or something
fizzy
like
drinks.
that.
Yeah.
But that was when I first seen Old Mother Riley. And it's just fascinating to think that, you know, you're looking at that and the money they were earning. So they were on, and that was on every cinema in the afternoon for kids for the matinee.
Yeah.
So they must have been raking it in.
They were raking it in, absolutely. And they'd very little competition as well, I would have said.
The Three Stooges came out a lot later than that, didn't
yes.
they?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I remember going to see, what's his name? Norman Wisdom.
Oh, I loved A Stitch in Time.
Stitch in Time. When he's in the ambulance, I think I was flipping.
I just loved
once again,
his physical comedy. That's what it was.
But even the expressions on his face, and they hear him sing after he's done all that
Don't
physical
laugh
stuff.
at me.
So
I remember when he sang that song, Mary, and I think it was in A Stitch of Time, and it was
yeah.
Don't laugh at me, because I'm a fool. I just cried my eyes out.
It's a very sad song because he does play.
It's how he sang it as well. Yeah.
He plays the fool in all of his movies he did, and he always got the girl in the end.
Yes,
and he was the small man,
yeah,
with the funny face, and the funny character,
the funny walk,
and the movies. I remember you played the policeman as well. Oh my god! And he's about that height.
Yeah.
But listen, these are movies they should be bringing. Now they did used to show them for years every Christmas.
I know.
You got the same movies over and over again, but it's years since they shown them.
Absolutely.
And I wish they would even bring them back one by one.
I wish they would as well.
BBC One or BBC Two will show the odd one.
Okay.
You know, one of the really old movies, and it's nice to watch. And I think a lot of people, even, well, I suppose if you said to my daughter likes black and white, but if you said to someone of 16 years of age, watch Norman Wisdom, you'd laugh. Like they'd look at me and go, had they no colour? Was that not in colour? Was everybody in black and white? My daughter actually asked me when she was about 12 years of age, did I live in a black and white world before she came along?
Okay.
Because of the black and white movies.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, that's crazy. Yes, that's a bit over the top, though. Yeah, and did you?
No, listen, my life has been black and white forever. But Christmas time again, you know, I think Christmas time is a family time, and I feel sorry for anyone who's on their own.
I do too.
And what I do love is, you know, all the charities that are out there, and God, if we hadn't got them, you know, a lot of people would be very lost and very lonely.
I know.
And I do think the government, if they can't do it during the year, at least at Christmas to do something big for those people.
I know.
That are out there.
But you see, those people are desperate all year, 52 weeks of the year, Mary.
That's true.
So, and what happens is, I think, you know, charities become oversubscribed round about Christmas time.
Yeah.
And that's very sad, because they do, you know, what are they going to do in February, March, April?
Yeah.
You know, they're still going to be homeless, they're still going to be hungry, they're still going to need accommodation.
That's very true.
Right? So I do, and don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-giving at Christmas time.
No, I know what
but
you
it's
mean.
just that a lot of us do it because it makes us feel that much better.
Of course
that
we
while
do,
we're stuffing our faces with turkey and Christmas pudding, I don't feel so bad because I gave 50 quid. I gave 50 quid.
Well, that's very true.
So, you know, so from that point of view, but I also, my heart goes out to people who may have lost a loved one around about Christmas time. And that must be really, really difficult, because where Christmas is all about happiness and giving and love and so on and so forth, for some it'll be a huge reminder of loss.
Yeah, my brother lost his wife Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
You know, and they do have a hard time.
Yeah, and that must be really, really difficult. Yeah. And, you know, it's okay saying, you know, time is a great healer. I don't know about that. I think for people, we just become better able to manage it.
I think you
rather
become
than,
numb to it after a while.
yeah,
We
yeah,
just get used to the fact that the
yeah,
person, not that they're
yeah.
not there,
I
we
know.
get
Yeah,
used to the
yeah,
feeling, and
yeah,
it just
yeah,
becomes,
yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
But I just want to wish everybody out there in this beautiful land of ours
Yes,
at this time of Christmas, to be to be aware of the people that are on their own, near your neighbours and things like that, and to show a little kindness by just knocking at the door and giving them in a card or a little box of, flowers, or a box of
sweets.
chocolates
Yeah,
or something,
yeah,
and just wish them a happy Christmas. And for those who are big families, stop fighting at Christmas. Just enjoy each other's company.
yeah.
Forget about the bitter quarrels you've had during the year.
Yes.
I know it's easier said than done, but you know
Hmm.
what? We've
Hmm.
one life. There is no return and there's no deposit. This is it.
Yeah.
And you need to appreciate each other as being around. And not all of us are here for the rest of your lives.
No.
Remember that.
Yeah.
So just wish you all a very happy Christmas. I'm sorry to end on such a
No,
depressing note.
it's a happy note
That's what
because
I mean. Just be
you know
kind
this,
to each other.
be kind to each other,
Yeah.
enjoy the time. We tend to live such busy
Yeah.
lives, and maybe for Christmas, for some, it's not for everybody, because I know that doctors and nurses and
True.
have to
Everybody
go out and
works,
work.
yeah.
Everybody works in the police and so on and so forth. So it's not a jolly time for
And I
everybody.
want to say thank
But
you to those people.
because they do it, it allows us have a jolly
Of course it
time.
does.
So
Of
thank
course
you.
it
My
does.
heart goes out to them
Yeah,
as well.
thank you all very much. What was the other people I wanted to thank then as well? Well, we thank the police and those who have to work through the
Absolutely.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good time with your families at some stage during
Yeah.
the week of the Christmas week.
Mhm.
And there was something else I was going to say, and that went down my head as well. It's old age. It definitely is old age.
Well, I want to thank Santa because I know he's got my list, and
Yeah.
I just want to say, I'll be asleep by midnight on Christmas Eve.
Yes,
So if he wants to
I just
sneak
kind
in,
of hope we have a little bit of snow Christmas Eve, and then it goes away
wouldn't that be
on
lovely?
Stephen's
Yeah.
Day. So please,
Wouldn't that
Santa,
just be
Santa,
lovely?
Santa,
And to
Santa.
all the little boys and girls out there, I hope you're really behaving yourselves and that you get everything that you have wished for. And to all the mummies and daddies out there, I hope you have a lovely, 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 lovely Christmas. And we will be back to you, hopefully, sometime in the new year. We'll keep you posted, obviously. It all depends on time and the schedules and so on and so forth. So, yeah, we will be back. And next year, we hope to have quite a lot of guests coming on.
Definitely.
And
And hopefully a live show will go out.
Oh,
And
yes.
I'd like to thank Danny. He's the guy behind the scene who does all this for us,
Yes.
sets up everything for us. And God love him, has to be very embarrassed when we're talking about certain women's things and things like
Absolutely.
that. But he sticks with us.
He sticks with us. He does, yeah.
We would be lost without him.
We would
Well, actually,
totally.
we wouldn't be, because we wouldn't be
We
here.
wouldn't be talking to you
So
guys,
we wouldn't be
okay?
doing anything. So
No,
thank you,
not
Danny.
at all. So
Thank
thank you,
and
Danny,
happy
for that.
Christmas to you and your family and all that.
So don't forget now, we have an email address, which is, what is it, Mary?
Is the... No, you see, I'm going to say the name of it. Oh, I can't think of the bloody name of it now. This is terrible. Folks, you know what? Anyone out there that's listening to us will know how real we are. We haven't got a clue what we're doing. We just sit here and yap. Now, I think it is Danny, give me a hint. The Wow Podcasts at gmail.com.
That's it.
And you've got to get your friends to subscribe to our channel, and you can see it on YouTube and anywhere else you get your good podcasts from.
Yeah.
But please, please, please get them all to just stick a finger in there and subscribe to us.
Yes.
Because myself and Eilish really want to do this, because we are yappers. And when she's in her house and I'm in, well, this is her house. Well, when she's here in her own, I'm at home, me, and she was trying to just talk to the walls.
Yeah.
So it's nice to come out and
to
just get
save
it
us,
all
yeah.
out, and then we can take a break for a week or so.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
subscribe to
Well done. Well
the
done.
The Wow Podcasts at gmail.com. Don't forget the S.
Yes. And as Mary said, you can pick us up on Instagram, Facebook, and
YouTube.
So
and anywhere you pick up your podcasts, you'll
exactly.
Be able to find
You'll
our
be able
podcast.
to,
And it's called the Wise Owl Ones.
Yes. So if you have any suggestions
and
at
don't
all,
forget our names.
Oh yes. We want names for the owl. Right.
Please give us a good name for her, because she is a beautiful woman.
Any suggestions you have and anything you'd like to be discussed, or any guest you would think we should have on, please let us know, because we're here for you. Okay.
And we did say that we would try and get an expert in about menopause and music. I was going to say, about menopause
and depression.
Because that was it kind of hit a lot of people, the menopause,
Yes.
and of course, depression.
What goes
We'll
with
find
it?
we'll find
What goes with the
someone
men?
who
Yeah.
can come in and talk about that as well. So it is all about us. We're enjoying what we're doing. We're having
Yeah.
a laugh,
Mm-hmm.
but we really do need you
Yeah.
to subscribe to us, to make us go further and further and talk about whatever you want to talk about. So please, please, please subscribe to us. Send in emails.
Yeah.
I've given you the email address. It's the wowpodcast@gmail.com. Please, please send in a few more emails and get your friends to subscribe and tell them they can have a bit of laugh with us. Eventually, we will have a phone number where we'll be able to talk to you live on phone if you subscribe to us. Thank you, and have a very Merry Christmas and a peaceful New Year.
And a very Merry Christmas from me and a peaceful New Year. So it's good night from me. Say good night, Mary.
Good night, Mary.